All right, guys, welcome back. Continuing in the civilian resistance operations series of videos. We've talked about heavy squad weapons. We talked about light squad weapons. We haven't talked about a GPR, general purpose rifle. We might touch on that a little bit in today's video. But today we're going to talk about ammo carriage, carrying this stuff, and why that matters. One of the things we want to focus on when we're carrying ammunition from a civilian resistance standpoint, we're not doing direct action per se. We're not CAG. We don't have the little birds. We're not going to carry a relatively slick carrier with 2 spare magazines in it, shoot a magazine, half a magazine, maybe get back on the little bird and go. We need the ability to also carry sustainment with us. Cutting tool, combustion, quarters, container, cover, casualty care, candle, calories, compass, combat, magazines, etc. But we also want the ability to get out of this stuff pretty quick, as I talked about in the day pack video, which would be our line 3 or part of our line 3 sustainment load. From a resistance standpoint, we want to look like normal or slightly abnormal civilians. Be able to have some additional capability that we can throw on us, do what we need to do, and oh no, here come the bad guys, fade, okay? And I'll admit, I don't know how well that concept's going to hold up with the continuing advancement of technology, AI and facial recognition and digital exhaust and footprints and all of that. I don't know. But based upon historical concepts, guerrillas have always had the ability to fade. And so that's a key consideration as we look at gear is how quickly can I fade with this stuff? How long does it take to put it on versus take it off? And go from, I'm fighting for my freedoms, bro, to, hey, what's up, man? Good to meet you. How are you? I'm Bear from the internet. So a couple of different ammo carriage systems we're going to look at here. We're going to look at belt line or line 1 and into line 2, chest rig and LBE. So this is a belt over from Eric at Exumbris. Phenomenal belt. Truth in Advertising, he sent this to me. I did not purchase this, but he said, hey, Bear, I want you to have this, take it, run it, beat it up, let me know what you think. And I've only recently begun to actually do that. This is set up for law enforcement training right now. And yeah, Exumbris right there. Great guy. I've really enjoyed getting to know him over the last few weeks and months, and good dude. So this is set up for law enforcement training. We don't need to get into the weeds on that, but that's why there's restraints on this belt currently. And it's great for that. It's great for carrying a load at the range. I mean, for law enforcement training, I've got restraints here. I've got a handheld flashlight here. I've got pistol reloads here. And I've got one reload for my rifle. I've got a douche pouch for dropping spare magazines into. I've got an SE4. It's probably my favorite knife, small knife, the SE4. Just phenomenal knife. Yep, they're expensive, but man, buy once, cry once with these things. They're excellent. Got the Refuge SOB on the back with a soft T here, refugemedical.com. Little GP pouch, admin pouch here that's got a pair of heavy duty gloves in it. That's 9mm nitro gloves that are in there. Don't use black. You won't be able to see the blood on the gloves. I know, it's also dark half the time, and I'm also incredibly colorblind, so your mileage may vary. That chipper patch, you can also get that at refugemedical.com. It's got a retention holster here, and then another soft tee up here in the front, just kind of ugly. Is that a word? Uglily. It's gross looking, just shock corded onto here. And I've got the tail of this belt supposed to be living back there. Need some electrical tape on that. This is a great system for the range. It's a great system for training. It's probably a great system if you're an operator, which I'm not. But here's my issue with this from a civilian standpoint, and your mileage may differ. It's this inner belt. Got to have this inner belt on my belt line. Then this outer belt sticks to this inner belt. And so if you're rocking this inner belt every day, you can stick this outer belt to it, and then boom, we're up. And then when it's time, you know, to fade, nope, we're not doing cool guy stuff anymore. Let me go ahead and take this belt off. I'm gonna undo the buckle, drop, fade. I'm just a normal civilian. But to those that know, this inner belt totally looks like a belt that would support this outer belt, right? This is, you might get away with this in some contexts, you might not get away with this in some other contexts. And so while this affords us a great amount of capability from a training standpoint or from an operational standpoint, this inner belt could be a deal breaker versus a standard leather belt. Been doing a little weight loss. Look at all those extra holes I've had to put in there. Okay, versus a standard leather belt that's just on, okay? So while this is a great belt, if we look at my ammo carrying capacity here, as well as my signature, I've got one reload for my carbine here. Could I add more to that? Absolutely, I could. That's not how I have this set up. I have this set up for training cops, law enforcement, when we're out there doing that with Refuge Medical, including a cuff key, which to all my LEOs out there, make sure that you are actually searching the people that you restrain, because some of us carry cuff keys on us all the time. And some of us carry them in our back pockets. So when you cuff us behind our back, we just reach into our back pocket and get our cuff key, and then we're free again. And the problem is not over. So that's the Umbris, and it's a great system. I love it. But from an ammo carriage standpoint, as well as my ability to fade, that's not what I use it for. So this is a Mayfield or Mayflower rig here as well. Also kind of set up for teaching currently, but I've got 4 40-round mags in here. So that's 160 rounds right there. Add a drum to that, I'm at 200 rounds, plus 1 on my belt. Now here's the thing with belt line that a lot of guys don't talk about because it's not cool. This is a standard 5.56 magazine. I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna show you my ass. Dudley, see this pocket right here? Boom. I know it's not nearly as cool at the range, but if you had to, get the rifle out, if you had to reload, okay, boom, I go dry, or I'm dry, back to work from the back pocket, and this is very low profile, and now I'm fading again, okay? So that's something to think about as far as capabilities. It's hard to sell tactical back pockets, and so the industry doesn't really support tactical back pockets. However, you can all the way stick an AR mag in your back pocket and be good to go without having altered your presence and your presentation very much. So this is just another chest rig kind of set up for training, teaching, to be honest. This carries AR-15 magazines, and I bring this chest rig up because I want to show you the difference between it and this. But I'm moving this out of the way for now because I need to get to some other stuff in this duffel here that lives in the truck. Why does it live in the truck? Well, it lives in the truck for a couple reasons. Number one, I'm very blessed that I get to drive around the country and train, whether I'm the trainer or the trainee. Number two, I like having this capability where I can reach it. Aren't you worried about people stealing your stuff? Yeah, that's a consideration. It's a duffel bag. It can be moved from the bed of the truck to inside of the truck or a bunch of other places as well. This is SOE. Okay, right there. See that? SOE. Belt pouches, as much of it as possible. SOE. Love John, love Amanda. They're great people. This has 14 magazines on it. There are 4 Rallyman pouches here. Each one of them has 3 magazines in it, okay? Now these are AR-15 magazines. AK will also go in there. These are adjustable. 7.62, 2 of them will also go in there. So from a carriage standpoint, even the regular SOE Rallyman 3 mag pouches for 5.56, I can stick 7.62 short in there. Okay, now I go from 3 to 2 with 7.62 short, and I go from 3 to 2 with 7.62 NATO, boom, in each of these pouches. But I have flex capability depending on which platform it is that I'm running. That's really important to me because I don't know which platform I'm going to be carrying, and thinking that I'm going to have this set up for this and I'm going to have this set up for that, and oh, well, if we have to do this, if somebody's got to carry the pig, then they can run these pouches, and all that's time, all that's operational drag, all that's additional cost versus a multitasker like this pouch. I put whatever magazines I want to in here. This is a 20 round 7.62 by 51 millimeter. I can also put a 25 round in there. It'd be about that much higher. Adjust this pouch, boom. And now I can carry 8 25 round magazines in 7.62. That's 200 rounds plus what's in the gun, 250 rounds plus everybody else carrying stuff without changing any pouches on here whatsoever. Or I can carry 8 AK mags in here. You may even be able to get 3 of these side by side. I've never tried, but I can definitely get at least 2 of them in here. Or I've got 12 just in the Rallyman pouches. I've got 12 AR mags. Why 12? Well, remember that light support weapon I showed you in the previous video? Got to start with a 60 round mag there. That's 60 rounds. Then I've actually got 14 magazines on here times 30. So that's another 420 rounds. I'm at 480 rounds. Stick a magazine in your back pocket. You're well over 500 rounds right there. And size and weight constraints. So I've got 4 of these Rallyman pouches here. They are, and this whole belt kit is all different colors, and I'm good with it because I get what I can get from SOE when I can get it, because they make their stuff in America, and when they do a run, I have color preferences, but I don't care. I don't care. I'm not interested in looking cool. I'm interested in having cool capability. So I don't care if my shit's not all Gucci'd out and it doesn't match. I don't care. Does it work? That's what I care about. All right. So big fan of John and Amanda at SOE. Go over there, tell them Bear sent you. They'll love on you. What you shouldn't ever do is order something from SOE on a Tuesday and then complain that it hasn't shipped on a Wednesday, because John will roast your ass on all the social medias. Okay. This is a Cedar Sewing Company pouch here. I've got 2 more magazines here. That's so 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, just on this belt kit. And then this is also a bit of a GP pouch here. I've got a compass here, Silver Ranger 2 compass. I've got a random rubber band that is degraded, headlamp, sewing kit, a couple of chem lights, fire, Sharpie. There's some camo paint inside of here. There's a little emergency bivy sack in here, Bic lighter, etc. So compass, candle, casualty care, or not casualty care, rather, combustion, all inside of there. I'm right-handed, and so I like my primary reloads on my left. These are more of an inventory that, given the opportunity, I can move these over to my left side as needed. And then I can also access my compass with my right hand and some of the other stuff that's in here. That's a neat little pouch that Cedar Sewing Company makes. On the back here, this is an SOB from Refuge Medical. I've got a cat tourniquet that's shock corded onto it. And then this is the SOE butt pack. And in this butt pack here, I have gun oil and a multi-tool. Okay, so from a maintenance standpoint there, keeping my weapon up and running. On this side, I have one smoke. Where do you get smoke spared? Well, Refuge has a pyrotechnics license because we train and we blow shit up when we train. I have one smoke here for signaling or obfuscation. I have a Sojourn gear, S-E-W-J-O-U-R-N. You'll hear that name again shortly. A Sojourn gear pouch, dump pouch here on the back for stowing spent magazines. And then this here is my water filter. So I've got a Sawyer Mini, I've got the flush syringe, I've got the squeeze pouch, I've got the straw, and I've got a piece of cheesecloth as a pre-filter if needed. It's in this little pouch on the back of the butt pouch. And then in here, I've got 2 Nalgene canteens and 1 canteen cup from a sustainment standpoint. So I've got a half a gallon of water on me plus a canteen cup that if I'm in a permissive environment and I need to boil something, I can. I've got those just kind of sticking through like that in order to make that work. On the bottom, poncho. Poncho, Ranger banded up, poncho. The bottom of that butt pack there. Then I got a radio on the front right here. This radio is a Baofeng UV5R. This is the darling of the prepper community. I hate them. They're very dirty signals quality. They're low production quality. I have bricked a dozen of these things. I much prefer the Yaesu FT65R. However, and you know, I only have so many of those, so on occasion you'll find a Baofeng in my systems. Again, admitting I don't love them. There's far better radios out there than that Baofeng. And our Essie, again, this is a carbon steel knife. Got a little bit of surface rust on it, but that's an SE4 right there as well. By the way, go out, use your shit, do stuff with your shit, make sure that it works, do a gear shakedown. Then I've got another cat tourniquet up here on my left shoulder where I can get to it with either hand. That's a common mistake that people make when placing tourniquets. They don't prioritize tourniquet placement on their kit and you can't reach it with either hand. Well, what happens if one of your hands is missing and I can't get to that tourniquet with my other hand? Or one of your other hands is incapacitated. All this is set up on an H harness. This is heavy. Okay, so with magazines and water and everything here, this is, now heavy is a relative term. It's about 25 pounds that's here. But I can don this and doff this pretty quickly. I can throw this on, do what I gotta do. We're doing our thing. Ba, 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 fade. I'm out. And I'm a normal dude again. But you don't have any ballistic protection. There's times for ballistic protection, for sure. There are times for ballistic protection, but not always. I don't always need level 4 plates. I don't always need a ballistic helmet. I don't always need, let's break the internet, I don't always need my super cool Nightfall Optics LLUL21 white phosphor Gen 3s 2300 FOM. I don't always need these, which is why they're in a pouch inside of the helmet, inside of the duffel bag, not the first thing that I can get to inside of the duffel bag, because I don't always need these. Nice to have, not necessarily need to have. Met TC, bro, mission dependent. This, by the way, Good Dude Concepts, great guy. Met him in Moyoc, and this is specifically for cop stuff and entry. So it's just, looks like 5/16 of an inch thick steel. It's been laser cut, CNC cut, and you know, little pry bar. This is cool. You make a hole in windshield glass, and then it's serrated for raking through. Love that. Impact weapon as well. And this is a little pry bar here. You can also pry valve stems out of tires with that to disable a vehicle. You can also shove this in the eye socket of your enemies, or this end in the eye socket of your enemies, or their neck, or their subclavian artery, or their, you get the point, okay? So when we talk about ammo carriage, what I really want is cross compatibility between these 3 magazines, between this AR-15 magazine, this AK-47 magazine, or what, you know, we're not even gonna have the argument between 5.45 39 and 5.56 by 45. I don't even think it's relevant. Probably not in North America in the coming struggle, but I want the ability to carry AR-15 M16 mags, AK-47 mags, and AR-10 mags, SR-25 mags. That's what I want without having to redress the Barbie doll, without having to fix anything. Just pull magazines out of one pouch and put different magazines back into the same pouch, okay? So that's some of the capability that the SOE Rallyman mag pouches give us, which is a very overlooked capability, but it's also, and you don't have to, you probably don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of shit day one, although the industry would prefer it if you did. I've been into preparedness for 20 years since Hurricane Katrina, and I've accumulated a lot of shit over the years. So I have a lot of shit. Surplus. By the way, nobody pays me to talk. Everything that I tell you is my opinion and my experience. It is not, my time has been bought. There's no, today's video is sponsored by. I don't care. I don't care. I promote Refuge Medical because I'm the founder and CEO of Refuge Medical. That's it. That's it. Simple as that. But all these other manufacturers, this is gear of choice, gear of preference. That being said, I think I kind of like the Venture Surplus guys. I also like P&W Gorilla, odggllc.com. Google it. They got all kinds of, you can get all kinds of pouches and kit that the military has decided, nah, we don't want those anymore, for cheap, cheap, cheap. So if you're on a cheap, cheap budget and you don't care if your shit matches or not, go see one of those guys. If you want to buy once, cry once, go see SOE. For real, John and Amanda will take care of you. Or go see Sojourn Gear, okay? So this is the saw rig by Sojourn Gear. And it has these 3 mag pouches across the front. This is basically an AK-47 rig that's been heavily modified, okay? So you can run a dangler on it here. It's got, you know, some side molly here. We don't have to tear this all apart and go through it. But again, this is set up for teaching and instructing. Most recently was 72-hour ECSI accredited wilderness medicine class taught here in Oklahoma. And so I've got, you know, my multi-tool, and I've got rain gear and sustainment stuff in here. I've also got 3 AR-15s, not AR-15s, AR-15 magazines here, okay? Great capability. I can also, in this same pouch, run AK-47 mags, and I can do all the adjustments that I want to do. There is also a tab down in here. Again, this is the saw rig from Sojourn Gear. There's a keeper tab in here, a helper tab, that if I want to pull this in order to be able to get these magazines out, I can do that. And this was designed, heavily influenced by Saw, who has been there, done that. It's got all the t-shirts, all the tabs, blah, 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 okay? So AR-15, AK-47, or 7.62, 2 of them, in the same chest rig. So now if I start layering these things, if I've got 14 magazines, not that I would, but I could. I've got 14 magazines on my SOE belt, plus 1 in the back pocket, plus 1 in the gun, 16. And then I've got 9 AR mags across here. That's 25 magazines. That's 750 rounds right there, plus including sustainment. Because I've also got, look, here's another 1-quart Nalgene, including casualty care, including map and compass, including signaling, including observation, including shelter. And, you know, then if I wanted to, I could layer this day pack back on here. It's got another 5 magazines in it. That's 900 rounds of 5.56. God forbid we ever need 900 rounds of 5.56. But I also have cross compatibility. I don't have to carry just AR-15 mags. I can carry AK ammo if we decide to take the AK for whatever reason. I want light barrier penetrating capability, or I need to hit really hard, or maybe I don't want to sound like an AR-15, I want to sound like an AK for whatever reason, okay? I can also carry 7.62, either for the pig or for the precision rifle. Or maybe, hear me out, I'm not carrying precision rifle, I'm carrying a general purpose rifle. But as part of my GPR loadout, I know that we all got to feed the pig. And so I'm also carrying two 25 round 7.62 stick mags, which is my 50 rounds of contribution to the pig on the day. I know you can nerd out on this shit. You can nerd out on this shit real fast in a hurry, but it matters. It's all logistics, and logistics wins wars. And so think about ammo carriage systems, because again, saw rig, right? We're out there, we're doing the things, man. Pew, 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 pew. Oh shit, boys, it's the cops. Got to get out of here. So anyway, no shit, there I was, man. Okay, in and out real quick. The other thing with these, with the H harness on this, and I do this many times. You just throw this over the shoulder like a satchel, like so, or with an H harness, you can stick your arms through it this way. I will never get out of this again, Dudley. I'm going to need help remediating this situation because this is not the H harness. But you can stick your arms through it this way if you're crawling, stalking, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, and you've got it on you, but it's not fully presenting. Yeah, I 100% need you to remediate this situation for me. Ah, thanks. So hopefully you get the point by now. Again, nobody has paid me to say any of these things, but they're concepts, right? Sling pack. Sling pack on you. You're just going about your business. Pew, pew, pew. Bad guys, bad guys, bad guys. Okay, time to fade. I'm out, and I'm just a normal dude. Because in a contested environment, and this is important to understand, this is not GWAT. Okay, this is not Korea. This is not World War II. It's guerrilla operations. In a contested environment, the situation is going to change by the moment. By the moment. And you don't want to look like a combatant if you can help it. Doesn't mean that you're not a combatant. You just don't want to look like it. Get you a John Deere hat, a pair of jeans that's got a skull ring in the back pocket, maybe Copenhagen long cut, wintergreen, whatever you're into. Okay. Dirty flannel shirt, pair of work gloves. You're just another guy, or whatever the environment calls for. One of the things, you know, when you're doing clandestine operations, none of your shit can look like cool guy shit. Okay, you can't get caught just even with one of these. That's a soft T. Tactical Medical Solutions, Special Operations Forces tourniquet. It's just a Committee on TCCC recommended win list tourniquet. You get caught with this, that's an indicator. So instead, you carry a bandana and a stout pen so you can improvise a tourniquet if you need to, because those two things don't look like this, okay? So optics, not optics on rifles, but optics as to how you're presenting really matters when we talk about civilian resistance operations. So remember that mindset. If you come into agreement with that mindset and that application for what we're talking about here, the ability to get in and out of your shit, the ability to layer on lots of capability on top of you and then almost immediately get it back off of you again matters. And it matters for your survivability, for the preservation of life. That's ammo carriage. Super interested in your comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. I will see y'all when I see you.